My experience with running Facebook ads has been negative. It just never seems to work out for me.
You have a lot of the right things in place. The showroom is decent. The inventory selection is decent. Could the staging be a little bit better?
I have been, especially this month, fighting to keep expenses down and really focusing on if this is needed. Do I really need to invest in this?
Every month it's a race just to clear their fixed costs. And so that's why most restaurants go out of business in the first 2 years and their net margins are like 5-10%. It's like a very low net margin business. After you cover your fixed cost is the point at which you actually start making money. The number of flips that you're doing, your expenses are super high.
I've been hustling, but I just can't seem to reach hardly anything past the 20 flip mark.
How's 2026 treating you?
Better than December for sure. December was a little rough, but yeah, it's been catching up a bit.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's the case for a lot of people. December is a little bit slow. Do you want to add more color to that?
It really just feels like I can't get to the 30 flips per month mark. I feel like I've been hustling, but I just can't seem to reach hardly anything past the 20 flip mark. I have gotten to like 20 to 23, but it's hard for me to grow past that for some reason, especially when I keep a pretty high inventory. That's what I'm struggling with.
I mean, yeah, December, I'm looking at your stats now. November, good. 20 flips though. Oh, why are your expenses so high? And it's because you're factoring in your taxes into your expenses. I would separate that as a line item, by the way.
Yeah, I did see you talk about that on a different coaching call. I was unsure if I should filter that into the Ivy Flip dashboard or just keep that out of it.
Keep it out of it. Your taxes are not part of your expenses.
So for December, the beginning of the month, I did purchase mini Mighty upholstery machine for bowl cleanings. So that was about $1,000 of one expense.
Okay, January, doing okay.
Quick question about the taxes. Would you also recommend filtering in the money I pay for someone to file my taxes, or is that separate as well?
That, like your tax preparation, you can add as an expense.
Okay.
But the money that you're an LLC, right?
Yes.
You're a single owner LLC. Basically, pass through taxation is happening. Whatever income you're making in the business, you're just filing that on your personal tax return. So yes, indeed, you need to put away 30% of what you're making out of your net profit number. It's like you need to set that aside so you can actually pay taxes. But if you incorporate that into your expenses now, we are not actually getting accurate net margin and net profit numbers for the business. And so I would keep that separate. So you can at least say like, okay, this is how much net income is coming in from the business. Here's what my net margin looks like. And then when you compare that to like other businesses, how they're computing net margin, net profit, it's going to be consistent because they're not incorporating their tax rate into their net income as well. Whereas taxes, personal property tax, box truck, like a sales tax that you paid.
No, that was my annually personal property tax that I'm required to pay for my box truck. I feel like I'm in the cycle of, you're racing to get flips every month, racing, and then the first of the month hits you, and now I have my warehouse expense of $1,800, and I'm reset it all the way back down to zero. But I mean, I guess that's just the reality of business. I really feel like I'm racing.
Your issue is that relative to what you're making, relative to your gross sales, your sales overall, that the rent that you're paying is a pretty high percentage of that. If you're in the restaurant business, restaurants are notoriously very hard businesses to run. The reason they're so hard is that their fixed costs tend to be really high. Like every month they have to pay rent for their brick and mortar. Most of these businesses are location dependent, rely on foot traffic. It's the same thing. Every month it's a race just to clear their fixed costs. And so that's why most restaurants go out of business in the first 2 years. And, their net margins are like 5-10%. It's like a very low net margin business. You're kind of in the same situation. But on the other hand, the restaurants that are really profitable, the restaurants that do well, they print money. And it's because if you end up in a place where you're comfortably able to cover your fixed costs in running a restaurant, your variable cost of running the place and buying your ingredients is actually not that high. Your margin on like cocktails and your margin on like certain food dishes could actually be very good if you look at it from a variable cost perspective. The hard thing that most businesses have, like restaurants, is clearing their fixed costs each month. If you, for example, instead of making $12,000 a month, you're making $15,000 or you're making $20,000 a month, the storage is not going to look as difficult in comparison. It really is a difference making 10-20% more money each month that would wash out the cost of the storage. If you make $10,000, the storage costs 1,800, double that. So like, let's say that's 20%. That's 20% of what you're making. So if you made $12,000 consistently a month, 20% more, then that would wash out the storage. So that's true. Like after you cover your fixed costs is the point at which you actually start making money. And so 10, 20% difference on your monthly revenue can make a big difference for you.
Yeah.
That's the difference between saving money and having cash put in your bank account, put in your pocket versus feeling like you're just scraping by.
That's why I struggled so much in December, is because I never surpassed that limit of those fixed expenses because my flips were so low.
I'm just telling you by the benchmarks, right? For relative to the amount of sales that you're making, the number of flips that you're doing, your expenses are super high. I'm trying to conceptualize why this is the case. In January, you have like $12.50 in this other bucket. It says you spent $250 on Squarespace this month.
That was an annual subscription. I will say I have been, especially this month, fighting to keep expenses down and really focusing on if this is needed. Do I really need to invest in this? Is this really going to make me money? I've been holding back on investing in some things that I in the past would have just pulled the trigger on and bought.
So yeah, what is this other expense of $12.50?
That was for my accountant. I paid $1,000 for him to file my taxes recently.
How much square footage do you have?
It's about 3,000.
And is it full?
Yeah, recently been filling it up. It's pretty full. There's still some space in front here, but it's crowded.
You have it all in like kind of like a showroom format. Do people actually walk in? What percentage of your sales are walk-in versus a point like people buying sight unseen?
I would say 60-40 walk-in, 40% sight unseen.
Are they walking in or are they booking appointments?
They're booking appointments. They're not walking in. My warehouse is in the rear of a complex, and up front there's a mattress store, and that's the storefront. So they come around back to the warehouse. So I don't have any storefront advertisement.
What's the name of your website again?
Billy'sCouches.com.
What do you think is keeping you from doing 30 flips? Is it sales? Is it inventory? Is it operations?
Because I keep such a high inventory, I would say sales. But obviously, the more pickups I do, the more bets I have a shot to making a sale. So, I mean, overall, I've been consistently keeping no less than 20 in my inventory. I would definitely say sales over pickups.
So you don't have a problem keeping things in stock, and you generally have like 20 pieces of inventory at a time. I mean, because look, like the difference in outcomes for your business where you're going to feel a lot more comfortable is about 5 more sales a month. Not astronomical, but it is about a 20% increase from where you're at today. And that's where you're going to feel like, oh, fuck, I'm finally making money. What you're doing now is enough to like cover your costs and like put a little bit of money in your pocket. But if you're able to crank that up, like just even 5 sales a month, that's where your profit is going to kick in. I think this is a problem that can be solved with ads. What I'm going to do is I recommend that, and we work with this guy, Grant Howard. He's our director of operations. He runs a furniture business himself, and he also runs a furniture marketing agency, has worked with like dozens and dozens of furniture stores and also a lot of couch flippers at this point. I'm going to recommend we do a consultation with him. And I think that we could get you set up. We can at least do an audit of your ad account and give you some campaign ideas and see if that, gets you straight. Like I look at the fundamentals of the business. It's like, oh, you have a lot of the right things in place. The showroom is decent. The inventory selection is decent. Could the staging be a little bit better? Yeah. I don't think it's killing. I don't think there's nothing about the business, based on the adjustments that we've made that I think are killing you. And so now that that's out of the way, like, okay, is there something you can do on the ad front? There's also maybe an opportunity for us to do some consignment together. So that's where we send you a trailer full of product. Your investment is going to be the time and energy to get that like process staged and listed, and then it's going to take up space. You have space. You have 3,000 square feet. Your layout is not super efficient. You install some pallet racking. You put some of those sectionals on their side. You get some like furniture dollies and you place them on there, vertically. You need to like have a staging area where those sofas go in. You stage them. You take photos. But then like you don't have to have everything laid out as if it's a showroom. To do 20 flips a month, you don't need 3,000 square feet, right? People do 20 flips a month out of like 2 or 3 10 by 30s. How many clicks do you get on your marketplace profile per week?
So I've been tracking that weekly, so I can pull it up here. But so I'm running off of 2 marketplace profiles. I've recently just posted on a 3rd one yesterday. And the trend that I see happen is one does really good 1 week or maybe for 2 weeks, and then it stops. And then the other does good for 1 to 2 weeks, then it stops.
That's good. Well, at least it balances between the 2, right? Yeah. What is your average click per week?
Last week on my profile, I had 56 6,600 clicks, 7 days. On the second account, I had 1255.
Those are really solid numbers. I mean, if you're averaging 7,000 clicks a week, like that's really, really solid. It kind of boggles my mind that you're not making more sales. The bottleneck is sales. Like that's enough clicks. Is your like conversion low? If people walk into your showroom, you should be closing 80% of that business. What do you think your actual close rate is?
So last week it came to a 66% conversion rate for my viewings.
What about for the month?
The week before it was 42%, and then the week before that I had it at 75%.
Say 60% average-ish.
Yeah.
So it doesn't jump out at me as being like reason you're not doing well. But remember, the difference between feeling like tight and compressed and feeling that the business is going well, it's not a huge difference. It's about a 20% improvement in outcomes, right? So sometimes it's really obvious. Feels like the one thing you need to do, and that one thing is going to fix all your problems.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because that's your weakest link or that's your bottleneck in the business. Other times, there isn't something that is very plain and obvious. Here's the one thing that you need to fix. Small tweaks that you make across the funnel. Can I get my cost per impression down here? Can I get my cost per click or my cost per lead to be a little bit more efficient? Can I generate a few more bookings every week? And then can I improve my booking conversion by like 5% here, 5% there, and they stack multiplicatively. I think that's kind of the situation I think you're in. So I think now it's time, let's dig in a little bit deeper. Let's see if there's some optimization we can make on the ad account front. The other metrics in the business seem good. I think that's where the next step is. It's a matter of like 4 or 5 sales a month. Maybe there's something on the ad front that can help with those sales. If you constantly keep 20 products in inventory, it's on inventory, it's not a stock out issue, it's not an operations issue. Like if we could just help you sell like 4 or 5 more couches, and then like if you sell 4 or 5 more couches and you can still keep 20 couches in stock, it's definitely not an operations issue.
Are other flippers seeing success with running Facebook ads?
Are you running Facebook ads or Google ads?
I've recently started a Google ads campaign for sales, so I'm working on optimizing that. My experience with running Facebook ads has been negative. It just never seems to work out for me. I always seem like I'm wasting money.
Good news is that we have run quite a bit of these Facebook ads and they are generating good results for our other flippers. The key thing is like you're gonna have to create some good content. You have to get on camera, be fun, engaging, jump on a couch, something like that. Yeah. We'll take a look. We'll look at it structurally and we'll give you some advice on the creative side. I'm gonna ask you to take a look at my calendar, book a time for next week. I'm gonna pass that over to Grant as well, make sure that he's available for the call. I mean, look, your results are not terrible. 6-figure revenue business, any way you conceptualize it. Your expenses are a little bit high. Is there a way to bring that down a little bit? Your sales could be like a little bit better. These are tweaks, like 10, 20%. Once we get you more in the realm of like $15,000 revenue a month, then I think it's okay, can we start playing around with the business model? Right now it's like, okay, the flipping business model is there. Let's try to extract a little bit more value there so you can feel more comfortable, feel a little bit more profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And then to get from like 15,000 to 20, 30,000, that's when we have to start looking at trailers.
And those are new couches or returns?
It depends on where you get it from. Like you get like B stock trailer, you'll pay for used Costco couches. Depending on the opportunities from us, we either consign them to you, you pay for them up front. It could be mixed furniture, it could be new in box, could be mostly upholstered, it could be returns. It just depends on what the opportunity is that you're sourcing from us. You're someone I would trust with consignment, to be frank. You're very conscientious, and that's the kind of person that I trust with consignment. I would be willing to send you a trailer.
I really appreciate the call. It was good catching up. Yeah, I'll book in a time for next week and hopefully we can get that set up.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dig in.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Billy. Ciao.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you very much. Bye.